Welcome to episode 18 of Echo Without Noise. The Ones Who Stayed. There's a quote I came across once. Being honest will not get you a lot of friends, but it will get you the right ones. It didn't feel like a quote. It felt like a chapter. Several chapters, actually. I've always had friends. Some who welcomed me in with laughter and shared snacks. Some who kept me close just enough to feel powerful beside me. Making friends was never easy. And keeping them? Even harder. But when I did find someone who felt real, I gave my loyalty freely. Fiercely. I held nothing back. I would have walked through fire for them. What I didn't see then was how little of that was returned. I mistook proximity for reciprocity. There was one friend. Someone I truly believed saw me. We'd talk for hours. Dream out loud together. They were the first person who made me feel like I didn't have to earn my place. I thought we'd be forever. But life did its thing. Seasons changed. Careers happened. Location shifted. And we drifted. No drama. Just distance. Strangely, that felt okay. It hurt, sure. But not in the way betrayal hurts. It felt like shedding, not shattering. Because somewhere along the way, I learned. The ones meant to stay don't need to be held tightly. They just show up. Again and again. Honesty, though, that was the real maze. Even as a teenager, I had this quiet internal code. I wouldn't follow just because others did. I didn't know why, I just couldn't. It cost me popularity. It made me stand out in ways I didn't want to. I thought there was something wrong with me. But now, looking back, that something was my integrity calling out to be kept safe. I didn't always succeed. I've bent myself before. To avoid discomfort. To belong without being a burden. To stay close to people who only knew how to connect through performance. And then I grew. New people. New relationships. More emotional risk. And suddenly, honesty felt like a sharp edge. I'd say something true. It would slice a bond. Leave an awkward silence. Sometimes years of space. So I stopped. Not consciously. But gradually. I started lying, not outright, but quietly. To myself. To my expectations. I convinced myself I was fine when I wasn't. That I didn't mind the shade or the silence. That loyalty didn't need to be mutual to be valid. But then came the quiet teachers. Reflection. Reading. Writing. They didn't fix me. They just invited me back. Back to that code. Back to my original shape. Back to a truth I hadn't been living. And slowly, I started noticing the people in my life who could handle it. Not just tolerate honesty, but hold it. With softness. With care. Without fear. Some of them had been there all along, quiet fixtures in the background. But I hadn't understood them before. Had placed them in the same box as everyone else. Had dimmed around them, out of habit. When I started being truly honest, not angry, not defensive, just honest, I saw them differently. And they saw me. Not for how well I fit into their space. But for how deeply I feel. How sincerely I speak. How gently I love when I'm not guarding. If honesty has made your world quieter but clearer, stay. Stay with that feeling. Start noticing who welcomes your truth, not just your presence. Who doesn't flinch when you don't smile. Who doesn't disappear when you say I need space. Who doesn't punish your boundaries, but respects them even if they don't fully understand. That's who you keep close. Those are your right ones. Because yes, honesty didn't win me many friends. But it revealed the ones who could hold me. Without decoration. Without disguise. So here's what I want you to hear, if you're listening with a tender heart. You don't need a crowd. You don't need constant validation. You don't need to be agreeable to be loved. What you need is a space where truth doesn't cost connection, where presence isn't confused with performance, where you can be honest and still held. And if this reflection spoke to you, maybe linger for a moment. Leave a comment. Share this with someone learning to speak honestly, too. Or just take a breath before rushing off. That alone would mean something. Because this is a quiet beginning. A return to what's real. And the real ones? They never ask you to be less than honest.